I'm surprised.
Well, you get offsets. You can see it in the tariff numbers. I was just looking at the lower down, the more specific numbers. Take this chart here. It is PPI steel that I have up, and you do see an increase in steel prices and the price of things that are made out of steel in the PPI. But at the same time, we'll go to this other chart. We're seeing what we kind of expect to see: soybean prices rolling over. So you get these offsets in the PPI, which is maybe why we're seeing more of an impact, bring it down a little bit less than expected. And we really have had the tariffs on steel long enough to see an impact, but the other tariffs that the president has just put on probably haven't shown up yet.
Well, sure, but that also begs the question: is the statement of tariffs are going to be inflationary? Are we learning that might have some more nuances to it?
Well, it definitely has nuances to it, because if you get any kind of global slowdown or slowdown in other countries, that could be deflationary. So at this point, we're waiting to see what the overall impact is. The standard answer is, hey, washing machines. The president put tariffs on washing machines, and we've seen washing machine prices go up significantly. But that was a single item. It depends now on how many different items start to be affected and how quickly.
Mike, is it important what the level is of the input cost or the volatility? I mean, if you're running a business, what you really want is predictability.
That's right. So it's also the speed of the change.
Yes.
So so in other words, businesses can adjust to higher input costs over time. They can't adjust quickly, and particularly if you have a shock like something like a tariff. I mean, that's going to hit it immediately. You just can't change your production lines that quickly. So it's the speed, which I think the tariffs are really speaking to that. I'm not overly concerned about some real massive acceleration in input costs in a way that's damaging. I think it's just that companies haven't had to deal with this in a long time.
Good point. Mike, so what's the read-through for us for tomorrow for CPI?
Well, CPI and PPI are less connected than people think. It takes a lot for the PPI to feed into the CPI because companies absorb often a lot of the increases. The question is, can they keep absorbing these? And we've seen some companies like Procter & Gamble announce that they can't, and they have to raise some prices. So we may see some tariff effects in there tomorrow. But in general, it takes a while for that to show up. And we haven't seen in general a lot of price pressures on the CPI. It's up at 2.9% for a headline, which is elevated, but we don't see a sign that it is really accelerating from there.